Let's pay homage to the lineage gurus, homage to the Venerable Monk Liao Ming, homage to Master Sakya Zhengkong, homage to His Holiness the 16th Karmapa, and homage to Master Dubden Dorshi. Homage to the three jewels of the altar. Homage to the main deity of the group practice this evening, the greatly loving and compassionate Avalokitesvara Bodhisattva. Sumo, Tanjang Katso, Dubden Siddhi, Dubden Kama, all Dhamma masters, Dhamma lecturers, Dhamma teachers, Dhamma instructors, Dhamma teaching assistants, temple and center directors, and all disciples present here and over the internet. Good evening. How do you do?
你好，大家好。现在讲愛してる知らないオラミコ経験の持ちをすごい一番気持ちいい住民やびプリンプリンこんばんは。刚刚看了这个影片。
Just now we watched the animation clip.
心中很多的感触。
In my heart, it's quite touching. I was thinking that I myself is an old practitioner or old cultivator.
但是我的定力、耐力
My meditative stability or meditative power and patience are still not enough.
最近
Recently, this old cultivator, the old pine tree,
就像松树的皮一样
just like the tree bark,
这皮肤啊也得了湿
my skin got eczema.
哇，湿疹真的是很难缠
It's really stubborn,
特别痒，很多
very itchy.
小孩子也都有湿疹。
And many children also suffer from eczema.
这是非常
And
缠住你的一种疾病。
it's a kind of ailment that's very obstinate
看自己
or troublesome,
写的书
hard to deal with. Reading my own book
然后再想想自己，
and then thinking about myself,
自己的病都治不好，
I can't even cure my own illness.
众生的病，
How can I cure the illnesses of sentient beings?
这个奇怪的就是，
What's strange is
我画的符，
the fool or talisman that I draw can cure the illnesses of sentient
自
beings,
己吃
but
都治不好。
drawing the talisman for myself cannot cure myself.
所以，
Therefore, just now
影
watching
片以后，
the video
我自
clip,
己觉得自己不够坚强，
I found myself not to be strong enough.
本来已经是
At
望
first,
既非，
I felt totally discouraged,
没有希望，
hopeless.
用了很多的药，
I've used all kinds of medicines, and ointments,
到今天还是没有好。
and it's still not cured until today.
晚上呢，夜不成眠，
At night, I cannot
在
sleep,
白天睡觉，
so I take naps in the daytime.
有时候
Sometimes I feel
但也无可奈何。
I don't want to be in the Sahawult anymore, but there's nothing I can do.
想一想，活着为了什么？
Why do I live?
就为了一个信念，
Just for the faith,
为了500万的弟子，
for the 5 million disciples.
应该讲起来，
We can say,
弟子而活，
I live for my
为
disciples,
自己活，
not for myself, but for the disciples,
为了让弟子有
so
活的信仰，
that disciples have faith in the Buddha.
就是必须要这样子活下去。
I have to live on like this.
如果当初我没有信佛，
If I had not been a Buddhist,
我就会跟琼瑶一样，
I would be like Chong Yao,
跟三毛一样，
like San Mao. These are Taiwanese
不是
authors.
我把沙婆抛弃，
It's not that I abandoned
而是
samsara,
沙婆世界。
but I want to leave the Sahawal.
只因为释迦牟尼佛教导的，
Because Sakyamuni Buddha taught us
不可以自毁毁灭，
you
自己的
cannot
毁灭，
take your own wisdom lives. You cannot take your own life. 所以释迦牟尼佛讲， So Sakyamuni Buddha said, old age
都是苦。
and being sick are suffering.
想想，在这个人间
Think
有多少人，
in this human world,
有多少人
how many people
在生病？
are being sick.
去看看医院，
Look at the hospitals,
去看看重病房，
to look at the ICUs,
去看看坟场，
look at the cemeteries.
你就知道
Then you would
这
know
世间的无常。
the impermanence in this world.
这些日子
These days,
夜间都要起来
I have to wake up at
上
night,
药，
put on some ointment.
晚上没有办法睡，
I cannot sleep at night,
只好改睡白天。
so I changed to sleeping in the daytime.
很多人照顾我，
Many people are taking care of me,
也帮我涂药，
help me put on the ointment,
还有医生，
and the
台湾的李
doctors,
嘉玲医师，
Dr. Lee from Taiwan,
西雅图的训宽医师，
Dr. Jack Hong in Seattle.
他们到家里来，
They came to my
告
home
诉我怎么样子
and told
去
me
保养。
how to take care of myself.
还有很多人的关心，
And the care of many people who give me all kinds of
差
ointments.
不多50几种都有。
There are over 50 different kinds.
这个谢谢大家的关心。
So thank you for everyone's care and attention.
我不能太自私，
I cannot be too
做
selfish
做做做，
to live because I want to.
要为500万的弟子
I must live on for the 5 million disciples.
非常勉强的活在这世界上。
I live in this world with much reluctance.
这一生
In this lifetime,
觉得快乐的时间不是很多，
I don't have many moments of happiness.
大部分都是痛苦。
Most of the time, it's suffering.
所以释迦牟尼佛讲，
That's why Sakyamuni Buddha
娑婆
said
世界
that the Saha
是
world
苦海，
is the ocean of suffering.
要早一点离开轮回，
We should be liberated from the bondage of samsara sooner.
转来转去，
You don't want to
转来
tumble
转去。
in the cycle of the rebirth and be held in bondage. Living is suffering,
老也
dying is suffering, old age is suffering, being sick is also suffering.
普贤菩萨讲，
Samantha Bhadra Bodhisattva said, life is like fish in scanty water. What joy is there?
原来老就是这样子，
It turns out being old is like this,
就是这样，
being sick is like this,
苦就是这样子。
suffering is like this.
看到自己写的书，
Reading the book that I
自己
wrote,
也觉得很惭愧。
I felt very painful.
想想天下众生，
thinking
很
about
多人都在病苦之中，
the sentient beings on earth. There are many people suffering from illness,
在劳苦之中，
and many people suffering from old age.
觉得人真的很可怜。
I really find human beings are very pitiful.
世上，这世界上苦的人太多了。
In this world, there are too many people who are suffering.
应该早一点。我已经学习很早，20几岁开始。
I started spiritual cultivation a long time ago, since 26. Until now, I know that I'm an old cultivator, and yet, as an old cultivator, I still have to suffer the suffering of old age, and I'm not strong enough.
但愿众生
I just hope that sentient beings have no illnesses and no
快乐的修行，
afflictions, and can cultivate spiritually happily.
早早能够
That
开轮回，
they can abandon
成就
transmigration in samsara sooner, and to attain the Buddhahood, the Buddhaverse. 我不想为自己求， I don't want to pray for myself.
自己得到病，
I am sick, I am old,
但也想到
and make me think about sentient beings being old, getting old, and being sick.
但愿大家
I just hope that everyone would leave behind suffering and attain happiness. Now I would like to answer questions asked by disciples. From Malaysia, Lotus Ziqi. Grandmaster, may you be peace. Would like to ask your guidance. The connection between the 9-syllable mantra and Akalanata. To my knowledge, the 9-syllable mantra originated in Taoism long ago, and then later was incorporated into Japanese Shingon Buddhism, combined with the esoteric mudras, and later centered around Akalanata as of Fudo-myo as the principal deity. Is this correct? That's the second question. if a lifelong Taoist priest practices only Taoist methods, can they still manifest sariras or relics after death? Because in Buddhism, sariras symbolize spiritual attainment. Does Taoism have an equivalent concept, such as relics by another name or distinct physical manifestation? Thank you for your compassionate guidance. I pray for your health, long life in this world, and continually turning the Dhamma wheel. Amitabha Buddha. Question by Lotus Chi from Malaysia. The 9-syllable mantra that belongs to the Japanese Singon Buddhism, Japanese Tantrayana. So was 9-syllable mantra originated in Taoism? Actually, it doesn't matter. Long ago, very long ago, Taoism was founded by Lao Tzu. So we refer to Lao Tzu as the patriarch. It's divided. They are Northern Taoism, that's called the Quanzhen Taoism, which is what's written in the Jin Yong's novels. Chong Yang founded that Northern Taoism, focuses on pure cultivation, which is basically the same as ordained monks and nuns. And then during Sui dynasty, Buddhism spread to the Middle Kingdom. Of course, sometimes there are contradictions between Taoism and Buddhism, but sometimes there are similarities. Like the robes that the Taoist priests wear, they're the crown, Taoist crown, the robe, and the Confucius. So the union of the Taoism, Buddhism, and Confucianism. So this legend was that because 9-syllable mantra centered around Akalanata or Fudomyo, which is Japanese Tantrayana. Actually, Japanese Tantrayana originated from Chinese Tantrayana. And the Chinese Tantrayana started in the Tang Dynasty that was transmitted by the three masters, Subhakaraksima, Amoga, and Vajrabodhi, that spread Buddhism into China during the Tang Dynasty. And then Kukai from Japan who brought it to Japan and became Singon esoteric Buddhism. So Taoism started at first. During the Spring and Autumn dynasty, Lao Tzu and the Warring States. Confucius was born 30 years later than Lao Tzu. In China, there are Buddhism and Taoism and Confucianism, which transform Confucius philosophies into a religion. And in Taoism, divided into Northern Taoism for pure cultivation and Southern Taoism, which is more complex for the Southern one. So, Lian Hua Zhe Qi from Malaysia asks, so the 9-syllable mantra originated from Taoism and then later brought to Japan, and then in Singon Buddhism added the mudras and focus on Akalanata. So that's possible. Let me consult. Yes, that's about it. That's how it was. If all one's life is just a Taoist priest or master and only practicing Taoist methods, will they also manifest relics upon cremation? That's right. It's not only in Buddhism. In other religions or Taoism, they also bear sariras or relics. As long as you cultivate spiritually, sariras as just a general attainment, like the Nyingma of Tibetan Buddhism. They don't have sariras there. They just transform into rainbow light. They don't even have sariras. So if you still have sariras, you still have things remaining. Like Guru Padmasambhava, he just transformed into a ray of light. Many Mahasiddhas or high adepts just transformed into light and had no remains at all. Like the patriarchs in the Nyingma lineage, Adharma Buddha, who transmitted to the Mahamudra, the Ratna Samugga, the precious mind youth, and the guru of Guru Padmasambhava, Sri Singha. They all transform into lights. And Vimala Mitra also transformed into light when they left the world, also Guru Padmasambhava. So that's direct Buddhahood in this lifetime, which means transforming into light. So if you still have remains like sariras, that means you have Buddhahood during birth, but not in this life or not while life. So if you cultivate spiritually in other schools or other religions, you can also have attainments. So not just having sariras mean you have attainments. We have many disciples having sariras. Like Hanifa's mother bore many sariras in her body. and each one of them is as huge as the tip of the thumb. So those are just a symbol of attainment. Hanifa's mother had the good death. In the morning, she woke up and strolling and felt a little bit dizzy before she left the house and sat on the chair and passed, just like that. That's the most comfortable way of dying. And upon cremation, she had many sariras. We have many True Buddha School disciples who had sariras. Some monks also had many sariras. So, spiritual attainment through Taoism can also bear sariras. That's my answer to the questions asked by Lotus Chi from Malaysia. So the highest kind of attainment is direct Buddhahood in this lifetime, like Guru Padmasambhava, who transformed into a ray of rainbow light and disappeared. I hope that you all have attainments in your spiritual cultivation. Just now, I was sharing my feelings deep in my heart. I greatly admire Simu, Mrs. Lu. First, she never shed tears. The illness is suffering is very strange. People say it's terminal, like many cancers cannot be cured. But she's very strong, extremely strong. One time, at that time, before we hired any caretakers, I was the one helping her because she couldn't rub her back, so I was helping her. And I found that she's only bone and skin, just skin and bones. So skinny. And she could not control her movements of the body, and yet she never shed tears at all. Extremely strong. Never cries. And she doesn't sleep much at night. She just sleeps 2 or 3 hours. And then she's active all day long. And she's never still. Even when eating, it's like that. So as I was watching her, I was crying.
她是很坚强。
She is very strong.
这样的一个她的这个坚强，让我觉得她很伟大。
Her strength makes me feel that she is too great, and I find myself too minuscule.
我动不动啊，心里一伤心，我就
For me, I would just cry every time my heart
我
softens.
妈妈从小就跟我讲，我是最喜欢哭的。
My mom always told me that I like to cry.
伤心就流泪，
Every time I feel sad, I
没有
would
办法
cry.
自己藏起来。
I cannot hide my feelings.
有时候哭一哭，反而会让我睡。
Sometimes it's better to cry it out and then would sleep better.
把自己的情绪给它发泄出去。
So expressing is
是应
better.
该的。
That the fact that I suffer
但
like
是我
this,
受
it
这样的苦，
should be. I
我
should
觉得不应该。
experience this, but Simu's suffering it shouldn't be.
但是他很坚强，
But she's very tough.
我自己觉得自己很渺小。
But I find myself to be so tiny, so minuscule.
希望大家能够道心坚固，
I hope that you can stay committed in your spiritual cultivation to strengthen yourself. Don't be like Grandmaster,
善感。
to be melancholic and sentimental.
所以
Therefore,
现在是考验的时候，
it's a testy time
还敢不敢再来娑婆世界度众生？
to see if I dare to come to the Saha world again to deliver sentient beings.
很多的无奈，
There are so many helplessness. I really admire Simu's spirit, and I find myself is incomparable to her.
应该讲个笑话吧。
We should tell some jokes.
我觉得
I feel
每一次我说话都这个样子，
every time I give Dharma teaching, it's always like this, crying first and then have some laughs.
这也是无可奈何吧。
It's nothing we can do.
那谢谢大家那个帮我求，很多人帮我
And
求，
thank you to everyone, many of you who prayed for me, praying to Golden
帮我求
Mother,
佛菩萨，
to pray to the Buddhas and Bodhisattvas on my behalf.
很多人送来了药物，
And many people give me
送来很多的
medicines
营养品，
and supplements and doctors.
讲个笑话吧。
Okay, let's share some jokes.
一边是伤心落泪，
So one side is being sad and crying, and then the other side laughing. It is you don't know whether you should cry or laugh. What's going on here? A man wrote a letter to the wife. Honey, how are you? The boss hasn't paid me for a few months, so I have no money for you, but let me give you 100 kisses. And then the wife replied, I've received 100 kisses from you, and I gave 30 to the principal. Then we are free of tuition, and for the electric worker, 30 kisses, then we don't have to pay electric bills. And then to Mr. Wang next door, 1 kiss a day, and then he would help farming. So don't worry, everything is well at home. Many times when you offend people, it's not because you say something wrong, but because you hit the points. You hit right on. In ancient times, every time during the holidays, you would feel sad. We just celebrated the Ancestors' Day or the Tomb Sweeping Festival. But in modern days, every time we encounter a holiday, we would gain 4 pounds because they just having a good time instead. When you're in a bad mood, try to exercise. Then soon you'll discover that your body is not fit. Yeah, it's true. Now let's expound on the Vimalkirti Sutra. This beginning part of Surangama Sutra is very lengthy. The dialogue between Sakyamuni Buddha and Ananda. This is truly just talking about the mind. It's covering so many aspects. You may not be bothered listening to it, but I feel bothered reading it and explaining it. Ananda said to the Buddha, the Venerable Ananda said to Sakyamuni Buddha, Well honored one, Sakyamuni Buddha, I now reflect further. Now I've thought of this. Earlier, we've talked about that the time is not inside. The mind is not inside. The mind is not outside. And the mind is not in union with the eyes, not combined. And next, Ananda pondered and said, he was just guessing wildly.
每个人都有一个身体，
Each sentient being has a body
五腑六脏就在你
which
身体里面
contains internal organs within.
像心脏啊、肺啊、
Like the heart, the lungs, the spleen, the liver,
胃肠，
the
全
stomach,
部都在你
the
身体。
colons are all inside the body,
窍居居外，
while the
身
sensory
体外面啊
orifices,
是七窍。七窍什么叫七窍？
so the 7 orifices
眼睛是窍，
include the
鼻子是窍，
eyes, the
嘴巴是
nose,
窍，
the mouth,
耳朵是窍。
the ears.
什么叫七窍？
So, what are the 7
为了
orifices?
讲七窍，两个眼睛，
2
两个
eyes,
耳朵，
2 ears,
一个鼻孔，两个鼻孔，
2 nostrils,
一个嘴巴，
and 1 mouth.
就叫七窍吧。
Altogether 7.
都在外面，都在脸上。
They're on the face, they're outside,
这个窍穴居外，
on the surface.
有场则暗。
What is inside is dark.
就是暗的，你看不到啊。
So,
心肝脾肺肾，
what is inside is dark. You cannot see them,
有窍则明。
the internal organs. And what is open is bright,
看得到的，就是眼耳鼻舌身意啊。
which is the eyes, ears, nose, tongue,
七
body,
窍在外嘛，所以看了就很清
and
楚。
mind. They're out on the surface,
藏在里面
so it's
就看
easy
不
to
清
see.
就是暗。
And what's
外
concealed
面的
inside
看得清楚。
cannot be seen, and it's dark.
今我对佛开眼见明。
Now,
现在
as
我
I
看
face
到
the
释迦牟
Buddha
尼
with
佛，
open eyes,
打开眼睛，我就看到了。这个就
so
叫见外，
when I open my eyes, I see.
就是看到外面了。
So that's called seeing outward, seeing Sakyamuni Buddha.
闭起眼睛
When I close my
看到了
eyes,
是见暗，
I
没
see
有看到什么
darkness.
是暗黑的，
You can't see anything, it's dark.
名为见内，
I call this seeing inward.
在里面。这个我这样讲应该是对吧？诗意因何？
So,
我认为说这个
saying it this
窍
way
在外
must
就
be
是明
right.
藏在里面的就是暗的，就是这样而已啊。
So, what's on the surface is bright, and what's inside is dark. So, this should be right, right?
告诉
Should
阿
be
难尊
correct,
者
right?
你当闭眼
And Sakyamuni Buddha
见
told
暗之
Ananda,
时啊，
when you close your eyes
是
and
暗
perceive
之间，
darkness,
唯以眼对，
is that
为不
darkness
对
in
眼。
front of your eyes or is it not?
释迦牟尼佛问阿难尊者：当你闭上眼睛的时候，看到暗，这个黑暗
So
的境
Sakyamuni
界
Buddha told Ananda, when you close your eyes
没有光，
and perceive darkness
没有
without
日
light,
光，没有夜光，没有灯
no
光，
sunlight, moonlight,
房间里
lamplight,
面全部都是暗的，
and the whole room is dark.
唯一眼对，是你跟眼睛合一的吗？唯
So,
不对眼，
does it
不跟
mean
眼睛合
you
一，
are in union with the eyes or not?
这都是哲学思想嘛。
This is all philosophical thoughts.
释迦牟尼佛讲啊，如
Sakyamuni
果跟
Buddha
眼
said,
睛是合一的，
if it is in union with your eyes
暗在眼前，暗是在你的眼睛的前面，
and the darkness is in front of the eyes, then how can it be considered inside?
怎么可以说是在里面呢？
How can it
如
be
果是
inside?
城内的，居于暗室中，
if the darkness is truly inside, then in a completely dark room, one without sun, moon, or lamp, can you liken such a dark room to your internal organs? In Taoism, there is a term to open the three burners. What are the three burners? The first one is the brow chakra, or we can say three dantians. Upper dantian at the brow, middle dantian at the heart area, and the lower dantian at the navel chakra. Those are called the three burners. So basically the internals, the inside, the organs and the burners. So if you're not in union with the eyes, then how can you say it is seen? I'm just basically saying it word by word because I don't want to explain it. It's just too verbose. So if you say that you see externally and form in a contact, you're in union with your eyes, you close your eyes and you see the darkness. That's your body. And you open your eyes and you see brightness. But why can't you see your own face? So when you open your eyes and see brightness, why do you not see your own face? If you cannot see your face, then perception through inner contact does not hold. So that means that the mind and the eyes are not together. If you do see your face, your own face, nowadays we can look into the mirror, and you can see your own face. But if you don't look in the mirror, you can't see your own face. If you don't see your face, then the inner contact does not hold. That means the eyes and the mind are not together. Then you know that the mind and the eyes are in the space or in the sky, not inside the body. If your mind is in the sky, then it is not part of your body. In that case, should I, the Tathagata, now sees your face also considered part of your body? Your eyes already know that union with the body does not mean awareness. So now you have two perceptions, which means you have two minds. So we can see two Ananda, although you only have one body. So the mind, one mind can see inside and one mind can see outside. But looking outward, you can see your face. You look inward, you cannot see the internal organs or the three burners. So as if there are two Ananda, that would become two Buddhas. Therefore, You say that when you close your eyes, you see darkness. You open your eyes, you see brightness. That means there are two bodies, and that's the same as two Buddhas. And so that's meaningless, Sakyamuni Buddha said. I find that their dialogue is also meaningless, really. What is this looking inside, looking outside, looking at the face, looking at the internal organs? If you have no mirrors, think about it. Can you see your own face? You cannot. Only through mirrors you can see your own face. So where is the mind really? You say the mind is inside, but you cannot see the internal organs. It's all dark in there. So what the Venerable Ananda said was also wrong. And Sakyamuni Buddha was continuing the dialogue, and it becomes even more confusing. If really there are two minds, the internal mind who can see the darkness and the outer mind who can see the face, then there would become two Buddhas from the two minds. But the mind is not inside the body. So what is really going on? So the mind is not inside, and the mind is also not outside. And the mind and the eyes are not in union, are not combined. And now one mind is outside, one mind is inside, and that's also incorrect. So that's simply put, that would be faster, and not like the sutra that's so long-winded, and just wasting so much time and wasting a lot of my effort to think about it, and still doesn't make much sense. Therefore, it's best not to think about many things, because the more you think about it, the worse it gets. In Buddhism, there are many philosophies in it. It's better in Taoism. It's the philosophy of Lao Tzu and the Yellow Emperor, or Lao Tzu and Zhuang Tzu. And what is the philosophy of Lao Tzu and Zhuang Tzu? Don't think about anything, just go naturally. Just follow the natural course. There's no need to have too much knowledge. Lao Tzu regarded that the Tao follows the natural course. Everything just goes naturally, then that would be fine. Do not force anything. So you live an ordinary life, but nowadays with such an advanced science and technology, you don't necessarily live a happier life. It's more and more conveniences, which is right, which is true, but don't you feel that everyone is unhappy. Like the Lao Tzu philosophy from China's Taoism, you rise at sunrise and rest at sundown, and you don't think about anything, and then you would be happy. But now there's so many things to learn. Ever since you're very young, keep studying and studying and studying, and you gather more and more afflictions, and more things are invented, and more afflictions, and generating more and more afflictions and problems. But people in the ancient time, they don't have so much thoughts and opinions, I suppose. So just live a very light and easy and quiet life. Work starting sunrise and rest at sundown. So work in the daytime and rest at night, and follow the natural course, and you would be happier that way. But if you go against the nature, then you would suffer. So talking about mind, Ananda was going down the rabbit holes. Where is the mind? And the discrimination, the discernment, and overthinking it, then you don't get good sleep. If you don't think about it, you have a good sleep. You sleep nicely or soundly. So, at the beginning of the Surangama Sutra, it's very long-winded, very verbose, but I still try to explain it clearly so you can understand, right? So the son was outside and make a call to dad. Dad was at home. And dad said, are you missing home? If you can't make a living out there, just come home and farm. And the son said, but dad, when you were young, and then you work harder, then I would become the son of a rich man. And the dad said, but if you work hard now, your son would be the son of a rich man. And the son said, why am I the one who work hard to let the brat enjoying life? And the dad said, yeah, that's what I thought too. That's right. The prisoner was trying to escape from the prison. And one day he got a sign to escape, and he tried but failed. The policeman caught him back and asked him, "Why did you escape from the prison?" Because I picked a peach. I mean, this is a word, a homophone in Chinese. Because he thought that's a sign from heavens. So why did you get caught again? Oh, because I didn't. Oh, this is play of words of Chinese. That's a Chinese joke. One day, a woman entered into the husband's specialty shop, and she wanted to find a dream Prince Charming. And when she got there, there is a notice that said, "The man here have stable work." And she didn't even look and went to the second floor. And then it's written, "The man here has stable job and handsome." And the woman hesitated a little bit, and she climbed to the third floor. And then and that's it. Oh, it continues here. Oh, there's so many. So what's on the third floor? Because nobody ever got to the third floor. Because everyone got into the second floor. And there's no third floor. A husband's specialty shop? This is the term. Oh, this is also a Chinese joke. This is a very long joke. A limping blind man. The four beggars were begging, and they found one drumstick. And they were discussing, if they eat together, nobody would get their fills. So maybe you should just have one person eat it. So who's the worst kind of person can eat it? So the first one, I'm a very oh, this is also with Chinese idioms. I'm blind, so I don't. And the last one. So, and the last one, I didn't have to say anything, just grab the drumstick and eat it, and said that, I'm shameless, and the shameless one got it. I'm also shameless. So let me see what we'll talk about tomorrow. It's still so wordy. I really don't want to talk about this. But what can I do? I pick this. Oh, money, baby home.